YouTube, it's Lindy and Mr. Smooth in our Bougie apartment, and I thought this evening I would talk about my top 5 favorite teaching moments here in China. And in order to make the list, these had to either make me laugh, or they had to hit me right in the feels, or they had to be something that just made me go wow. And these aren't really in any particular order, just this is what I was thinking about on the walk home tonight. And I'll just say it in the order I came up with it. But I guess the first thing was this made me feel really oh, you guys being my students, but that they kind of got used to me. And I guess I more or less got used to them too. Because I'll be honest, this is my first, big girl job out of college. And when I first came here, I thought, oh my God, why do these kids just want to talk in Chinese? And they're just kind of bouncing off the walls. They're not very good. You guys are stressing me out. But I think they've gotten more used to me, and I've gotten more used to them, and I've developed my own teaching style. And now when I walk in the room, Lindy! They all just kind of yell it. And some of them will run up and hug me, and I'm like, oh, hi guys. And yeah, I always hug them back. And I don't think kids do that if they don't like you. And we have a little 10-minute break. Most of the classes are 45 minutes, and then they have a 10-minute break where they can go to the bathroom, play on their phone, get a drink of water, just talk with their friends, do whatever you need to do for 10 minutes. There's a few of them that'll follow me into the office, and they just stand next to me. And I told them, I'm like, oh, you can go play with your friends. You can do that. No. They just want to stand by me. And I'm like, okay, if you want to keep me company, that's fine. And again, I don't think they do that if they don't like you. So I guess just they've gotten used to me, and they know it's oh, Lindy might look like an adult, but on the inside, she's 12. So yeah, let's just follow her around. She's got candy. She's got stickers. She lets us look at funny pictures on her phone. She'll play games on the phone with us. So yeah, just them learning to trust me and getting used to me, that makes me feel really good. And it makes me feel good too that there's not a lot of foreigners around Baoji. And it's okay, well, foreigners, they're not just all crazy and weird. Lindy's a foreigner, and Lindy is nice, so I'm hoping that'll open the door to them for more international experiences, maybe making some friends, and that just makes me really happy that I think that I'm their first foreigner that they've really connected with. And on the subject of connecting with, Chinese people aren't really super touchy. And the fact that this happened made me realize, oh, you guys really do like me. But something I tell my older kids is if you're ever reading a book or you're watching TV or you're listening to music and you come across a word and you don't know what it means, you can ask me. If it's a bad word, I'm not going to be angry. I'll just tell you it's a bad word. Don't say that. So I just thought if they have any questions, they can ask me. And the reason why that came up is I have seen so many inappropriate pieces of clothing around town, and I'm I don't want my kids wearing that. I don't want them going abroad and wearing that. And just for example, in English we say if you're trying to think. In Chinese it's niga, niga, niga. That sounds really, really close to a racial slur in English, and I'm I don't want them to go abroad and be thinking and say that and have somebody misconstrue it and have them get punched. No, if you don't know a word, you can ask me. I just want you to be safe. And one girl comes up to me and says, Lindy, what is planking? And I'm oh, I guess she found some old internet posts from a couple of years ago. Okay. And I'm planking is when you lay flat like a plank across something. And it used to kind of be a game to see if you could find the weirdest place to do it in. And I'm okay, if you want to say this is planking, and then I proceeded to go and lay flat across a chair. One of the boys took that as an invitation to just dogpile on me, and he didn't announce it, so I'm just this is planking, as I'm laying face down flat across this chair, and all of a sudden, boom, there's 80 pounds on my back. And that kind of freaked me out, and this might be a little bit TMI, but if you startle me, or if I get nervous, I can stress fart, and I kind of stress farted on this kid, and I felt really bad, but at the same time, you shouldn't, startle people or just jump on people like that. But I was thinking, if they don't like you, I don't think they're gonna do that. There are some other teachers at the school where they pretty much, I'd say, rule by intimidation, where they just scream at these kids and stomp their feet, and I feel sorry for them, and like the kids are scared of them. They've admitted that they're scared. No, I don't want my relationship with my students to be like that. I guess I would prefer you not jump on me. If you have to jump on me, say, "Here I come, Lindy," and I guess I could turn that into a lesson for something else. Like, you say, "Here I come," and then you do this, or "Heads up." But yeah, this kid just like out of nowhere just jumps on me, and I farted on this kid. But I guess we're good, because he sees me all the time, and he runs up to me. He'll say hi to me. He'll ask to see pictures, and we're good. So hopefully I taught him don't startle people, I guess, in a weird way. And I guess this is something about boys just being boys. The kid that jumped on me is maybe like 10 or 11. This happened in one of my other classes with a similar boy that was that age. Like I said, during the break, they go get a drink of water, do what they need to do. During the 10-minute break, I'm not supposed to be watching them. The Chinese teacher is supposed to be watching them. I go into the office and I fill out the communication books, and that's where you just like tick boxes like participation, homework, behavior. Like you just check like excellent, good, fair, and poor. And most of the times I'll just check the excellent one. You have to really make me mad or just be like ridiculous for me to check the bad one. But anyway, the tilde of that is I'm not supposed to be watching them. But I go back to the classroom, and I'm just leaving the office, and this kid comes up to me super frantic. Lindy Lauscher, Oscar! And this kid is trying to like gesture, point, because they know if they talk to me in Chinese, I just go, what? Yeah, they know to not talk to me in Chinese. I don't care if it's broken English. I just want them to at least try. In English, what this kid was trying to say is, Oscar, in that class, pulled the fire extinguisher. And I come out of the office, and this kid is just standing there holding this fire extinguisher. There's foam all over the kid. There's foam all over the floor. And he's just kind of standing there like, oh, shit. And this kid is like, Lindy Lauscher, Oscar. And he didn't know how to say pulled the fire extinguisher in English, but it's pretty obvious what happened if a kid's standing there in a pile of foam. And I'm like, I know, buddy, I know. Let's go get the Chinese teacher. So I get the Chinese teacher, and she makes Oscar clean up like the fire extinguisher mess, and she screams at them for like 10 minutes, and I'm just standing there trying to not laugh. Like, I am the teacher. I am the adult. They shouldn't be pulling the fire extinguisher unless there's a fire, but that was pretty funny. Don't laugh. And I guess just boys that age, they dare each other to do stuff, and they get in trouble. And I think that happens if you're Chinese, if you're American. I think that's a human thing, that's just kind of what they do. And I know those little boys grow up, and they have kids of their own. And about every 2 months, we have a presentation where the parents come in and see what the kids have been learning. So it's not like, oh, we paid all this money for Lindy to give them candy and look at pictures on the phone and play games. Like, there is a lot of candy eating and playing games and looking at funny animal pictures on my phone, but I do teach them English with that. And one of the games we played was I split the kids into 2 groups, and I was like, okay, guys, if I write the number and then the character for month in Chinese, they would have to write in English February or March or whatever month it was written. And if I were to write, say, September in English, they would have to write the number and then the corresponding character in Chinese. Okay, so the parents know that the kids know the correct months of the year. And the Chinese teacher, because we'll do it as like a partner thing, she suggested like, oh, why don't you let the parents play around? And I'm like, okay. And they came up to like the playing area, and they're just like, and I was like, okay, well, the kids have had like a whole bunch of education instructing time with me. You guys haven't, so I'll give you like a crash course. I'm like, okay, guys, January, like first month, character 1 month, January. How do we spell January? January. January. What is this? January. Okay. Good. Now let's do February and blah, 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 blah. And in China, I guess they sit like this at their desks. In America, yeah, we don't do that, but they're like really rigid, like they're supposed to be. This grown man, I'm guessing probably like 40, one of the fathers of the kids, J-A-N-U, blah, blah, blah. The other parents were just kind of like, I guess, talking like this. Sorry, I'm not sure how he did that without coughing, because he did that for all the months. And I'm just like, oh, like, you were little like that too. And we did that, and we played the game, and they got a little confused with June and July, and I heard a lot of, yeah, blah, 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 Chinese. And I think that's kind of good for them to see what the kids are learning, and that it's hard, and they are trying, so, like, please don't be too hard on them if it's not perfect the first time. So that made me really happy, too. And I guess for my number one, the theme of family kind of reigns through, but I had just gotten to China. I'd maybe been here about a month, and I had to teach the word miss to one of my classes, and I said, okay, English is kind of weird. Sometimes the same word spelled the same in everything can mean two different things in English. And I said, miss, little M-I-S-S, that means two things. And I took, like, a piece of candy, and I was trying to put it in this kid's mouth, and I'm just going, like, everywhere, and I'm like, miss, 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 and they're laughing, and they understood, and I'm like, miss can also mean if someone's not where you are, you're sad that they're not there, okay? And I'm like, all right, who can use this in a sentence? And one little girl raises her hand, Lindy missed her family, and I'm like, you understand? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm like this weird rare breed of human that doesn't get homesick. But that hit me like right there, and I'll remember that forever. So yeah, those are my top 5 teaching English in China moments. Thank you for watching, and have a good day or night or morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you later. Bye.